please. Thank you, Amma. Okay, so in the last class we had looked at the muscular type of tissue and its subtypes, that is cardiac, skeletal, and smooth muscle. Now the fourth type of animal tissue was nervous tissue, or rather the fourth type is the nervous tissue, and these are nothing but specialized cells which are used for stimulation of certain cells within the body, right? And they have a specific function of transmitting that stimulus with a very rapid uh, rate from one place or from one cell to the other cell of the body. Does anyone know how fast is this stimulus?
As fast as electricity.
I saw a video
In
on that.
0.3 milliseconds.
Yeah. How many milliseconds you mentioned?
0.3.
Yeah, almost from 0.2 to 0.4 millisecond. Second, you already know it's like a short span of time. Uska 1000 part, and out of those 1000 part, only 0.2 or 0.3 millisecond. That is the rate at which the stimulus gets transferred within the body. Now you imagine if
So,
you are,
sir,
yes,
how much does it travel in that much time?
so that is what I am telling you. For example, let's say you are touching a hot surface with your hand. So from that touch fraction or that touch point, the signal is coming to your spinal cord and back to the hand to take away your hand, right? So that is the amount of distance it is traveled within those many milliseconds. So you can imagine how fast it is.
Sir, if
Yes.
we were not to have these stimuli and this all of this, then if I kept my hand on a hot thing, I wouldn't feel anything.
You would have burned.
But like
It would have
what
gotten
if I-
burned, but you wouldn't have felt the pain.
okay.
Like, sorry, what did you say? You wouldn't have felt, but
I said you would have gotten burned, but you wouldn't have felt the pain of getting burned.
why not?
Because you'll just your sensitive things are not working, right?
Oh,
If
that
these
way,
things-
yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So then people like there may be like a few disorders that kind of meddle with your nervous system. So then at that time, do people lose like sense of touch and everything?
Yeah. So paralysis is something similar,
Okay, yes.
right? That we know commonly. That is something similar. But there are various types of disorders where people are like we feel that they are sluggish, but their reflexes are not faster. And there are various reasons for that. One can be, a simplest reason can be the amount of neurotransmitter within those individuals, they are very less, or the nerve cells, they have defects, or the production of the neurotransmitters at the end or within those neuronal cells, that is not happening. So there can be several of these possibilities, and depending on which neurotransmitter, what exactly has happened, like the symptoms can vary. Okay, so that is the transmission part. Now the main organs where these nervous tissues are present is obviously the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Now one of the common misconception that I always find with the student is we consider nerves similar to the nerve cell, right? So like we had seen in case of muscles, individual muscle cells, when they are put together like a fiber in elongated, that whole bunch will make a muscle tissue. Similarly, individual nerve cell, when they are put together, they form nerves, right? So when we talk of that a nerve in a hand, that will have many neuronal cells, and many in terms of parallel many, yeah, not one after another. There can be one after another as well, but what we are talking is many nerves in the sense that they are running parallel to each other, and there will be in two directions. One is going towards the tip of the fingers, and other nerve will be coming back to the like spinal cord or the central nervous system. So that way, nerves, they are different from the different in the sense structurally different. Otherwise, nerves, they are having nervous cells or neuronal cells as a part of them. So these are the three main structures where these nervous tissues are present. That is brain, spinal cord, and nerves, and they are all composed of this nervous tissue. They are specialized for stimulating the stimulated to transmit the stimulus. Sorry, stimulated to transmit the stimulus. No, that is a wrong statement. So they are specialized to transmit the stimulus from one part of the body to the other part of the body. And the individual unit of this tissue is called as neuron. Like in earlier cases, in connective tissue, we had seen that fiber, in extracellular matrix, and cell. Those were the components. In muscular tissue, we had seen those myofibrils like cells or fibroblasts and so on. Those were the type of cells. So in nervous tissue, what we have is neuron as the individual unit of the nervous tissue, and these cells actually they are called as neurons, or they are also called as a nerve cell. Nerve and nerve cell, they are different. Nerve is a combination of nerve cell. That is what you should remember. And that is the main tissue of the nervous system. Of course, that we know. It monitors and regulates the functions of the body. Any function that you take, it is monitored by the nerves. And it can be a movement to the involuntary to voluntary movements, or certain organ functions in terms of secretions or hormonal actions, and all of these, they are controlled by nervous stimulation. Now, in general, what we commonly know as nerve, that is one type of nervous tissue. There is something which is called as glial cell, or they are also called as neuroglial cells. That is here. These glial cells, they are part of the nervous tissue. These cells, they are responsible for transmission of the signal. These cells, that is glial cells, they are responsible for supporting the function of nerve cell or neuron.
Oh,
Yes.
sir, tomorrow I may have a bad connection during the time of exam.
Okay, can we discuss that at the end?
Okay.
So, this nervous tissue, they are of two types. One is nerve cell and the other one is glial cell. And like I said, nerve cells, they are responsible for transmitting the stimulus from one place to other. And glial cells, they support the function of nerve cell in terms of whatever materials that nerve cell need in terms of nutrition, that is being provided by the glial cell. So that is the function of these two. Now, this is the general diagram of a nerve cell. Yeah, I will talk about this later. So this is the general nerve cell. This probably you are again aware of how a nerve cell looks like. So here, that is the cell body, or it is also called a cyton.
Sir,
Yes.
there's Schwann cells in the axon, right?
Huh?
There are Schwann cells in that part, right? The myelin part.
Here, yes.
Oh yeah, there. Okay.
Yeah. So this part is the cell body. These are the dendrites, which are hair-like outgrowths from the cell body, and these are responsible for receiving a stimulus. So these are always unidirectional neurons. So they can only pass the signal from cell body down the path towards this axon terminals. This middle part is the axon, AXON, and these are the axon terminal, which are again branched. Remember, these axon terminals and dendrites are not same at all. These are receiving the signal, these are giving the signal towards something. So that way, structurally as well as functionally, they are drastically different. So do not get confused there at all. So these dendrites, they are receiving the signal. Axon terminals, they are passing the signal via this this synapse, what is called as a small gap. So this round part that you see at the end of this axon terminal, that is nothing but these are called as synaptic vesicles. Vesicles means these are a pouch or a bag like structure which are storing the neurotransmitter. So once the signal is coming to this neuron, it will release this neurotransmitter. The next neuron will take it, and then it will change, cause the electric potential, and then it will change further. Like it will take that signal further. So that way these actions keep on happening. So these are the neurotransmitter present in the synaptic vesicle. This middle part is the, now if you look at this middle part, exactly at the middle part, that is the middle pipe like structure that you see, that is axon. Yeah, whole of this structure we called it axon as well. But these specific structure that you see, this double layer, one is myelin sheath. Now myelin sheath is something like you all have seen the electric wires at your home. Inside there is a metal component, and outside there is a plastic or rubber which is wrapped around it, or some polymer, so that no one gets a shock or the wires are not exposed to the environment. So that is something like this. So axon is like that metal wire, and the myelin sheath is like an insulation for this conducting axon. Yeah, and outside myelin sheath, what you have is a neurolemma. That is nothing but neuro refers to what do we say, neuron, and lemma refers to layer or membrane. So that is the neuronal membrane outside the axon. It is not present on the cyton, but it is only present around the axon area. And they also have a Schwann cell sheath. Now the Schwann cell has a specific function of synthesizing myelin, and that is where the myelin sheath is getting formed here. So that is dendrites, cyton, nucleus, axon, myelin sheath, neurolemma, axon terminals, and the synaptic vesicle. So these are the various structures present in the neuron. And the last part that we haven't seen is the synapse. So these synapses, these are specialized point of contacts. So when a nerve signal is coming, and when there is a new or a next nerve present after at the end of this, they are not in directly physical contact. There is always a slight gap between the first nerve and the second nerve cell, right? And that gap is called as synapse. And these vesicles at the synapse, they are called as synaptic vesicles. Now why there has to be a gap? Because these neurotransmitters from this will get released into that gap, and then the next neuron will catch those neurotransmitter, and that way the signal is going forward. So the small gap between the two neurons is called as a synapse, which is nothing but a junction or a contact point of two neurons. That is axon terminal of first neuron to the dendrites of the second neuron. So that way the information is passed on. And like I said, it is always unidirectional, that is from the cell body, it is passed on to the axon terminal. It cannot go in the reverse way. So that is the overall description of neuron. Now, just the small part, that is this nervous system or nervous tissue is ideally composed of two main systems. Nervous system is of two parts, that is central and peripheral. Central will cover, which is along the central axis, that is brain and the spinal cord. And while the other subtype of nervous system is the peripheral nervous system, which literally means the nervous system at the periphery of the body, apart from central axis. Whatever is on the other sides, like left and right side, that is your peripheral nervous system in terms of nervous tissue. Peripheral nervous system is again divided into two subtypes, that is autonomic and somatic. Autonomic means literally automatic, right? So whatever is involuntary in terms of nervous system, that is here, and whatever is with the regular cells, which are called as somatic cells of the body. So in our body, major classification of the cell is sex cells and somatic cells. And then somatic cells will have your liver cell, lung cell, heart cell, intestinal cell, and so on. But sex cells, they are very specific, like a sperm, or in case of female, that is ova or ovum, right, or an egg. So these are the sex cells and somatic cells. So whatever related to those somatic cells, the neurons are there, they are called, and which are not voluntary as such. Like these ones, they are kind of voluntary. So autonomic nervous system is all involuntary. So that is like sympathetic, that is adrenaline related, and parasympathetic, that is choline, acetylcholine related, which is one of the another neurotransmitter. Adrenaline, everyone knows. So that adrenaline is being carried in the sympathetic division of the autonomic nervous system as the neurotransmitter, while in parasympathetic, the acetylcholine is transferred as a neurotransmitter in the subtype of autonomic nervous system. So that is like this. So let's say, for example, whenever there is activation of the sympathetic nervous system, that will cause increase in heart rate. For example, all the adrenaline effect, like when you start running or do any physical activity, your heartbeat goes faster, your lung goes and expand more. All these, they are effects of sympathetic nervous system. Exactly opposite will happen with the parasympathetic. So if here, if the heart rate are increasing, in parasympathetic action would be heart rate decreasing. If activation of sympathetic nervous system leads to increase in lung volume, parasympathetic will do decrease in lung volume. So that way, these are complementing to each other or contradicting to each other in their action. So when one is activated, it goes like up to certain extent, and that's when the second nervous system is activated to keep the first one in control, and then this cycle goes on. So that way the autonomic nervous system function. And somatic nervous
So,
system, yes.
could you just repeat the parasympathetic again?
So parasympathetic nervous system is nothing but, see, again, this part you need not remember what neurotransmitter it is. It is acetylcholine, and that acetylcholine is one of the neurotransmitter present in the parasympathetic division, and that has actions opposite to that of sympathetic nervous system. Yeah, or you want the examples as well, like which I said?
Yeah, so could you give the examples?
Okay, so the example that I gave in terms of sympathetic division, which is adrenaline related nervous system, there whenever a certain neurons, they are excited in the sympathetic nervous system, it will show this adrenergic effect. Like for example, whatever you do in physical exercises or running or so on, that is increasing heartbeat, increasing lung volume, increasing blood supply to different organs, that way, or decreasing blood supply to stomach, that is also the action of sympathetic nervous system. So whenever you are eating food, actually your sympathetic neurons, they are kind of silent, and parasympathetic neurons, they are activated. That is, they will provide more and more blood supply to the intestine, and they, that way they both function in contrary to each other. So once sympathetic increase the heartbeat, parasympathetic will reduce it. If sympathetic nervous system is increasing the lung volume, parasympathetic system will reduce it. If sympathetic nervous system is decreasing the blood supply to intestine, parasympathetic system will increase it. So that way they always contrast each other in terms of their function. So that is the autonomic nervous system.
Okay.
And in somatic nervous system, this is nothing but the ones which are related to your voluntary actions. Voluntary action is example, for example, you want to lift your hand, right? So that is voluntary action, but there also you signal. How would your brain know that you have to lift your hand and the muscle has to contract? So that is nothing but your somatic nervous system. So all the voluntary actions, they fall under somatic nervous system, heartbeat, lung, intestinal digestion, all these they fall under autonomic nervous system. So that is the general classification of nervous system. Okay, so and of course the functions, I'm not going over the functions because you know them very well, what the neurons do and so on. So you can go over them by yourself. A carrying message or electrical insulation due to that myelin sheath, or communication and integration. So these facts responding to stimuli, these you know already, so I'm not spending time here. Okay, but anyone